What's up, guys? I'm back with some My Team action again, 100% race, and this week we have Jeddah, which I think is a really fun track to drive, and also it's a track that I've been practicing a lot lately because my first league race for F122 is at Jeddah. So I've been putting a lot of laps in here at this track, and I am planning and hoping to have a really good showing here for the team, for my team. And just try to put some good points on the board, maybe get a win if I can. So you see the first quality lap there, 131.5, somewhat of a banker. I don't know, it's pretty fast, but wanted to get a time on the board and went back in and got some new tires. And I'm planning to go for 3 runs total here, so I thought it would be fun to just show some of these and especially see where I'm picking up time, where I'm losing time, see how I'm doing. And currently I'm down by a little over a tenth, but I do feel the lap coming together, and you can see the delta coming down a little bit as I go pretty. I have a pretty good run through the first sector there, and I'm going green. So I'm good with that. Still got to make up a little more time if I want to catch up with these top dogs, though. Go a little bit deep into that hairpin, and I'm still up, but not as much up as I'd like to be. I think I'm going to need a little more than what I'm currently pushing to maybe get a pole or get up there on the front row or somewhere in that stratosphere. So I know there's still a lot of time left to make up because I think I lost a lot of time on the first lap at the very last hairpin, if you will. Make up a little bit of time there. Pretty good run through there. And also I was getting more comfortable at the track as qualifying went on and as the race went on. So I feel like I'm in a pretty good position, and it's only going to get better throughout the race, which is usually what happens to me doing 100% races, just because you've got 50 laps or 52 laps or however much it is depending on the track. So almost 7/10 up on my last time there, and I go P5, which I am really happy with, and I feel like there's even more time to unlock. So I'm going to give it a go here on this third run and see what we can do, but I'm feeling really nice about this, and especially as I go through the first 2 turns there, or 3 turns I think technically, and I'm over a tenth up, so I'm feeling good, man. I feel like I could have a pole lap depending on how I hit this, and then go into the race on a really good foot and really prepared. And then unfortunately I just bend it a little bit and destroy the front wing and end up backing into the wall here as well. So the qualifying run is over. I couldn't finish that, obviously, and qualifying was over. So I get P6, 2 places behind my teammate, which is unfortunate because I feel like I'm better than he is. But I think we'll be in a really good spot for the race to hopefully make up a few positions and get ourselves into a good spot. So one thing that is unfortunate is that I've been having a really hard time with starts in F122. I think I need to practice a little bit more, maybe need to mess around with the differential that I have at the start of the race and just try to save myself a little bit because I'm losing 3, 4, 5 spots every single start. So maybe I just need to sit down and go practice starts in a Grand Prix session and just restart the session over and over and over again to get those reps. I don't know what it is I need, but something needs to be done because currently I am trash with the starts. So there's definitely something's got to give. And if you're in first place and you don't have a great start, maybe it's recoverable. But if you're near the end of the top 10, it's probably pretty problematic. So you can see here the strategy that we got going is a personalized strategy. Soft to mediums, they have me going 39 laps on the mediums. You see me overfuel the car a little more compared to what we did in the last race if you watched, which is good because if you didn't watch, I ran out of fuel on the last lap at Bahrain and ended up finishing P6 despite running in, I think, P2 at the time. So not ideal, but we do get the purple grid formation, which is nice. I did not get that last race. It was good to get it this time. We get the 5 red lights. Away we go. And I'm immediately in 7th, and then 8th, and then 9th, and then 10th. And I'm just in this scrum, P11 now behind Magnussen. So, as I said, another very poor start from Jeff. We got to figure out how to do that better. But I'm now P11 in a crowded field, and you'll notice that I'm on softs and everybody around me is on hards. And frankly, I didn't expect everybody to start on hards like this. I thought they'd start on mediums at the worst and maybe transition to their hards or do like maybe like a medium soft or like a soft medium. That was what was initially suggested to me as a strategy, and I switched it over to personalized. And I don't know if other people experience this as well, but when I run the race strategy programs, the practice programs, I almost always have less fuel usage and less tire wear than the game predicts for me. You see a cheeky little pass attempt there on Magnussen. Um, can't make it stick just because I was at a really weird angle there and he gets the place back. But I was really happy with that I was able to shoot the gap there and keep the car unbroken and didn't make contact with anybody. So good bit of respectful racing there. But anyway, the race strategy practice program, every time I run it, it says that I'm going to have less tire wear and fuel usage than originally projected for me. So what that means is that the projected strategy is oftentimes a two-stop for me. Like I think what they suggested was soft, medium in this race, which I'm probably not going to do. I'd be more likely to do a medium hard strategy if I didn't have the juice to make it work with a soft medium. But that was what was suggested, and then I toggled it over to personalized strategy, and I got suggested the soft to the medium, which is kind of what I was expecting. I mean, I don't think that the AI really thinks that can work, so they don't ever do that kind of strategy. But the race strategy tells me I can do it. I have faith that I can do it. And I'm somewhat apprehensive about going 39 laps on the mediums. But we will see if it's going to be a problem. I guess you'll just have to watch the video, won't you? So you saw me get past Magnussen eventually, and you've seen almost 2 full laps here, which is not something that I normally do, but this was a really congested start at Jeddah. There was a lot going on. There was a lot to show, and I think it was valuable to see me driving amongst the traffic and trying to make this work. Fast forward a bit, we're on lap 3 here. I'm behind George Russell. I'm still in P9. I am really, really, really working to get past these guys as fast as I possibly can because every lap that I'm stuck behind these hard runners, I'm not getting close at all to my maximum potential, to my fastest potential. So I'm really, really trying to get by these guys and just be able to drive in some clear air because I know I've got the pace here. I had a really good second run in qualifying. I was on track for a really good third run in qualifying. I know that I've been practicing this track a lot. I'm feeling really, really comfortable here. So it's just a matter of just getting past these guys and driving in clean air, or at least with soft runners. So you see me bump Lewis Hamilton in the back there. I checked the vehicle condition. We've got no damage on the front wing, fortunately. We're on standard damage, so I was surprised that didn't do any damage, but it didn't, and that's okay with me. George Russell is making this very difficult at the moment. I was amazed that he had that kind of traction on the hards, and that sort of goes back to something I said in my previous video, that the AI is just very confusing at times. They are really, really good in situations where you kind of wouldn't think that they would, given where they are with tires, but then they're really bad at other places where you kind of feel like they would be good, either based on tires or just generally, you know. So AI's weird, continues to be weird. I think they make more mistakes this year, which is a lot nicer than F1 2021, where they were just on rails for the entire race. You did see me wheel banging with George Russell there a little bit. Again, fortunately, no damage. I was probably cutting it a little close on some of this stuff. I don't know that I should have been as contact happy as I was, but hey, what are you going to do? You see me with this cheeky little pass attempt on Lewis Hamilton. I get by. Beautiful. No contact there. Thanks for backing out, Lewis. Fast forward a little bit here, and I'm making a run at my teammate, Oscar Piastri, who is also on the hards. I'm on the softs. Remember, he only started 2 places ahead of me, and it's taken me all the way to lap 8 to even get within 1 place of him. So I don't love that, but it's the situation that we're in, and he gets great traction out of that corner and stays ahead, unfortunately. But I do have a little back and forth here with him, just trying to get past him and trying to get up there with Valtteri to hopefully another soft runner who can kind of move as fast as I can. Though I have a better car than the Alfa Romeo. Make contact there with Piastri, my teammate. No damage again, fortunately. And it's off to the races a little bit, trying to catch Valtteri. So fast forward a little bit here coming up, and we are lap 9. Bottas is in my sights, and I should be able to get him here because I should get DRS, and he doesn't have anybody in front of him except for Perez, who is way up the road. So Valtteri gets a little bit cheeky there with his defense, and I have to back out a little bit, end up going to the other side. But I do seem to pass him pretty easily, except he gets a nice run out of this corner. I don't get DRS. I assume that he did get DRS. But going down this long straight, I'm hopeful that I can outbrake him and be okay. I try to leave him the room there, and I do leave him the room, but going into that corner, I didn't really leave it a whole bunch of room, so I got past him pretty easily, I would say. Fast forward to lap 11, because remember, I'm pitting lap 11. Go 11 laps on the softs, 39 laps on the mediums. I get an optimal turn in, purple turn in, 2.4 second stop, which is a tenth faster than the 2.5 we put up last week with an optimal turn in. But I come out in what I think is a really advantageous place. Okay, so I'm in front of Tsunoda and Gasly. If I'd been a second later, I would have been cooked as far as being behind Tsunoda and Gasly. You may have seen last week in Bahrain. After my stop, I came out in a decent spot in front of, I think, like Lewis Hamilton, Sergio Perez. But what ended up happening was the tires were just so cold and the warm up was so tough that I ended up losing like 4 spots within 3 or 4 turns. So I'm well aware of that. The good news here is that I was able to stay in front of Tsunoda and Gasly, and you saw me make contact with the wall. But it was just a wheel, and I checked the vehicle condition, and there was no damage. So I got lucky there, and I don't know if you could tell just from watching, but I felt like I was just sliding around on ice a little bit. Made a little contact with Ocon there. I don't know. It kind of felt like he was squeezing me a bit. Not very nice. But you saw me come out with a really cold tire warm-up and just had to tough it through that first lap there. And then probably by the end of that lap, temperatures were pretty good and it was fine. But, bro, it's like driving on ice after you switch tires in this game, man. So you really have to be very, very careful with the warm-up and not do anything stupid and not put yourself in a bad position. So I get past Schumacher there pretty easily, and I'm now making a run at his teammate Kevin Magnussen. And as you can kind of see here, we've got Sergio Perez in front of Magnussen. So once I get past Kevin Magnussen, I should be off to the races a little bit because there are still guys in front of us who are on hards that haven't pitted yet. We've got Alonso here, who I don't think is pitted yet. We've got Sergio Perez right in front of him, who has pitted. But I think Perez is going soft, medium, if I'm not mistaken. So I should be able to get at Perez pretty easily. Just got to get past Alonso, and then we can see who else is still in front of us. But I think it's guys like Hamilton and Russell, who both started on hards and have not pitted yet, are going pretty long on that first stint with the hards, probably switching to mediums if I had to guess. So I should be able to, if not pass those guys, at least wait for them to pit. So I get past Alonso here, almost 2 seconds behind Sergio Perez, but I do think the car is a little better. We have the second best car. Oh man, Alonso just I thought I had clearance on Alonso, but did not, and made a little contact with him, unfortunately, which I don't love to do, but it wasn't intentional, so all's well that ends well, I guess. Didn't get any damage from it, which is really the key that matters here. You see me getting within good range of Sergio Perez here within a second. So I've got DRS. I'm going full bore at him. I've got a pretty charged battery, so hopefully I have enough to catch him pretty easily. And you see me get him into the first corner, but then accidentally make a little bit of contact with him after going a little bit deep on my braking point, which is unfortunate. And I'm just all out of sorts here. He's got a much better exit, and AI seems to be faster down that little stretch than I am, unfortunately. You see me catch up with George Russell pretty quickly and set the fast lap after doing so. And I'm fast-forwarding here a bit because I had a couple laps there just driving in clean air, and you're kind of seeing what looks like it's going to be the end game for the race here. Okay, so we've got Verstappen, who at this point I thought was on a similar strategy to what I had. You see Stroll out of the race there, no safety car, which is important. And honestly, I think I'm kind of helped by the fact that there's no safety car because my mediums are older than Leclerc's, older than Sainz's, and Verstappen is not actually on the same strategy as me. It turns out I think he went I don't know, did he go medium hard? I don't actually know the answer to that, but it turns out, is not much of a risk. So he is basically out of the race there. We've got Leclerc in front of us, 8 seconds ahead. Sainz is scary, a little over a second behind. He's in a slightly better car than mine is, and he pitted much later for the mediums than I did. And we pass, who was that, Schumacher there, who is out of the race. Again, no safety car, which again is helpful to me because if we get bunched up, I am completely screwed, just completely screwed because I don't have the tire advantage at this point in the race, and my strategy was sort of predicated on assuming that there's not going to be a safety car. I thought it was notable here to show me getting past Vettel, the back marker, because in the Bahrain race he was a back marker and he ended up giving me wing damage and arguably taking away a win from me. So it was nice to get by him without any incidents on the track. You see Sainz here getting very, very close on lap 48. Again, he's got a much better tire situation than I do. He's getting much better exits out of corners. My only hope is just to defend with the battery, hopefully pick up DRS from some of these back markers as I pass them because Leclerc is way, way, way out of range here. I thought for a second at some point during this race that maybe I could catch him and get the win. But after driving for a bit, it seems very clear I'm not going to be able to catch him. So I get past Tsunoda here. Don't think that I got any DRS there. Got past Valtteri Bottas at the next corner. Don't think I got any DRS there. You see us going into lap 50. Charles Leclerc sets the fast lap. So I'm pretty sure I've lost that point at this point because I'm not going to get a purple lap here with these tires, these 38 lap old mediums. And my main focus here is just staying in front of Sainz. You look at the steering wheel, I've got half a lap of fuel overage, so I'm completely fine on fuel. You see Verstappen goes purple for the fast lap of the race there, but I'm completely fine on fuel, which I learned from last race. Fortunately, it took me learning to understand that I need to overfuel a little bit more in this game. So I feel good about that, and I'm just pushing as hard as I can on these super old mediums and just trying to stay ahead of Sainz and hoping against hope that even though he is going to get better traction out of these corners with these newer tires, hopefully I can stay ahead just using my battery and just trying to carve out some really nasty lines on the track, which is really what I'm focused here on doing. He's within 0.6 seconds. We hit DRS right there. He's only going to get closer, 0.4, 0.5, 0.467. I get a really nice approach here. Again, I'm on super old mediums, 38 lap old mediums. I feel like I'm on a little bit of ice right now. They're at almost 210 degrees Fahrenheit on all four tires. And Sainz is going to get super, super close here. He's within 0.3 seconds. He's about to get DRS. You see me go into the last straight. I hit the battery, and I'm just trying to squeeze him out a little bit without being unsporting, and barely managed to stay in front of him by, I think, 0.5 or 0.05 seconds. I think it was less than a tenth, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see it here in a second, but I end up with P2 after a crazy last couple laps, and Sainz has been chasing me down for the last 15 or 20 laps. So you see there, 0.469, 0.523. He is roughly 0.05 seconds behind me. So that was incredibly close, incredibly close, and Sainz really made me work for it. But in the end, I think that was the closest finish that I've had at any point in my career. You see us doing okay in the driver's standings. We're P4 in the constructors, and we're actually decently close. So we might make a decent run at it. I do check out the race director here. It looks like Verstappen went medium to hard. Yeah, so if he had gone soft medium and could make it work like I did, I think he would have been in front of me as well. But at the end of the day, I think we're all chasing Charles Leclerc a bit at this point. But I think this was a really solid race, a really fun race. It had some really nice moments, some really fun moments, some scary moments. But at the end of the day, we get a P2, which is our best result yet, and it was a really satisfying and fulfilling race. So watch out for more.